I know. Look at me. Look at me, all the makeup. I'm all dolled up. I never get this way, right? Do you know why I'm wearing all this makeup? I'm going to tell you the news, which I've kind of been like, sorry, I'm also a bit of a mess. I have also like sprinkled out some drips and drabs about what is changing in my life that now my practice knows. I mean, my partners have always known, but now like my practice, like my patients know. So I'll let the public in on it. I know you've been hanging on the edge of your seat, haven't you? Wondering what I'm doing. I'm kidding. Like there's so many other things in your life, obviously. Here's what's going on. As many of you know, I've been an OBGYN for 22 years. Impossible considering how young I am, but it's possible because I'm not that young. So 22 years I've been doing it and I love it and I love every minute of it, except for the times I'm exhausted and stressed. I love the way I've practiced. I love the fact that I've practiced slightly differently than other people. Just my partners and I have managed to create a weird system in so many ways that I could talk about forever that I won't. But our system has worked for us and we've loved it. That said, I like change. Change is good. Learning is good. And morphing is good. And so at 51, I really solidified what I thought I knew, which is I love being a doctor, not for the science sake of it, but I love being a doctor for the sake of engaging with people. And when I engage with people, particularly women, I am able to help them and teach them about what I think they need to learn about their physical body and health, but also about like their mindset and why their physical and body and health is so attached to their mindset. And why maybe if we all can be calmer and less fearful about things, it can permeate into so many other parts of their lives, right? So through that, here's what is the change that's happening in my life. I am morphing in my practice and I will be, as of January, doing only the obstetrics part, which is so weird. Most gynecologists give up the OB and they still do the gynecology. You know, I like to shake things up, so I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to do only the OB and not the gynecology. And it's not because I like the OB more. Sorry, all you pregnant ladies. I love you, but it's not that I love the pregnancy more. I don't. It's actually the logistics of it. I think the gynecology part is almost more important because some women never do the OB part. And even if you do the OB part of your life, you spend more time in your life as a gynecology person than an OB person. Just a fact, right? You spend more time in your life not pregnant than pregnant. So your knowledge and education and understanding of your body and physiology and hormones is incredibly important, whether or not you realize it. And the more you learn and understand about it, the better and calmer you can feel about so many aspects of your life. That said, my practice happens to have a system where we can do 1 week on call and then a couple weeks in the office without being on call. And that does not lend itself to doing kind of an intense gynecology week. It lends itself to an intense obstetric week on call. So what I'm going to be doing in January is my intense obstetric week on call, 24/7, hanging out in the hospital, which is totally my jam because I really do love that environment, even though I know so many people hate hospitals. Like as doctors, like that's our playground. That's where we thrive. And I get to be with the nurses that I love, and I get to see the patients through their like crazy experience of birthing. And I get to talk about all my little mindset nuggets and all the things I like. And I still get to stay in the game of medicine and know what it's like to be a patient and a doctor and really stay on the ball of learning. But then in contrast, instead of that 1 week on call, it will be followed by 2 or 3 weeks where I won't be in the office and I won't be seeing gynecology patients and I won't be doing kind of the general daily office practice that I have been doing for these 22 years. And to be honest, while I'm so sad to be saying goodbye to so many of my patients, I am so excited because I still will get to do what I love, which is engage. I will get to engage through these different media, like social media, my own Instagram account, Big Love Fierce Juju, and Tribe Called V. Jenny Hayes and I, my business partner, will be building up our Tribe Called V. We've been working on all of the gynecology platform part of it, so I'll be able to really hone on all those videos that will help teach you as women about HPV and herpes and perimenopause and menopause and dry vaginas and vaginal discharge and all the things that we talk about. We're going to continue our pregnancy program, but then in addition, I've been consulting. So I just started working, back to the makeup, for Aspiro Women's Health, which is an amazing women's health company, diagnostics company, and they have really been able to hone this test that helps general OBGYNs like me stratify who is more at risk for ovarian cancer or not when it comes to them having a mass in their ovary. So if you have a mass in your ovary on an ultrasound, your doctor can then send you for this blood test to help decide if she needs to be sending you to the GYN oncologist instead of taking care of you herself. And that's huge. And that's only one of the tests that they've developed. There's another one coming up on the horizon that's going to help as well. So there's going to be more and more information that I will drib and drab out there about that with you guys, because I want you to know about it. I think it's so important for us all to know. And I love being able to work for a company where I get to like use them, right? They're going to use me to talk to doctors about this test and talk to patients about this test, but I get to use them to make sure and hold their feet to the fire that we are going to help teach women about everything through the lens of the ovaries, which is like really the biggest part, representing and creating the hormones that it is to be a woman. Even though, by the way, I have no more ovaries and I'm still a woman, but let's face it, at its inception, what creates us as women is our ovaries and the hormones from our ovaries. So through the lens of our ovaries and improving the rates of ovarian cancer by catching it earlier than stage 3 or 4, which is where the majority of women are being caught nowadays, Aspire Women's Health is also going to be able to help teach women generally about our bodies, about our health, about our hormones, about everything, because in educating you about ovarian cancer, about why you're not being diagnosed early, about why there aren't yet screening tests, about what we can do to find it earlier, in educating you about that, that means by definition, you're going to understand what you are getting tested for. You're going to understand what you're not getting tested for. You're going to understand the other parts of your body. You're going to understand your cervix and your uterus and your tubes better and your breasts better and your family history with genetics better and how that plays into it. So through the lens of your ovaries, we are going to be able to help understand so much more about our body. And I know it sounds corny, like I'm so excited about it, but I am so excited about it because something's got to give, ladies. We have to start understanding our bodies better. We as doctors have to be able to give you more information about your bodies, and you as patients have to start taking more ownership and understanding it and learning about it. And then collaboratively, we need to be able to sometimes fight against insurance companies in getting the right testing done to find and fix things earlier. So that's why I'm all dolled up, because I had to go do some videos for Aspire Women's Health, which was super fun, totally different than my normal day job or night job. And there was a great team there to shoot some video, and they just really wanted to hear my story, because my story is different. My story is stage 2 ovarian cancer. My story is why I am still here, kicking and screaming and acting all crazy 5 years after my diagnosis, right? We do not have to keep missing ovarian cancer. We do not have to be instilled with fear. We do not have to relegate our health to just let me go in for a 15-minute visit and not really know much more about ourselves. We can learn more as patients. We can advocate more as doctors. We can overall do better as women, okay? We can do it. And we can't blame the patriarchy. I mean, I'd like to, but the patriarchy, whatever. Whether or not we blame them, it's not going to help us. So do we want to be right, or do we actually want to do better? My argument is we want to do better. So go over to Aspire Women's Health and please follow them, because I'll be doing an IG Live with Wendy McDonald on Wednesday night, an amazing OBGYN in Chicago who is just hilarious and has a great Instagram account herself, Dr. Everywoman. We're going to be talking about the sad truth about how diversity in ovarian cancer with regard to the Black women instead of white women's rate of getting picked up early. They get picked up even later with poorer outcomes and worse treatments. So we're going to be discussing that diversity and the disparity within the diversity there. But more to come about Aspira. So I just wanted you guys to know what I'm doing and how I'm morphing and changing, and how I'm still going to be here talking about women's health. In fact, I'll probably be here more as the months go by and as I kind of, I don't want to say dedicate, because I feel like I've always been dedicated, but kind of alter how I meter out my time as far as the education process versus the patient to patient in the patient's room process. It's just going to change, and I'm excited about it. But I know that my patients, God bless you all, if any of you are watching, I love you people. You have just lifted me up. I could get teary thinking about it. You've lifted me up. You've been there. You took care of me when I had my ovarian cancer. You guys have been just divine patients. Like, I could not have been a luckier doctor to have you in my corner and to take care of you. But things are changing, and I am excited about that. So I won't cry and mess up the makeup, but that's it. Wanted you guys to know. Have a great Tuesday. Please go Aspire Women's Health. Follow them, because they have really awesome things coming up in the future. Okay? Bye.